So here we go. This is the foul reporting and penalty enforcement presentation. All right, so you just threw your flag. Now what? This is the face I get from a lot of the even second year officials. You still get the absolute panic, deer in the headlights. What do I do now? Oh my God. Don't panic. Finish officiating the play. You'd be blown away how many times we see officials on film throw their flag, they've got a holding, some sort of live ball foul, and then just stand there and stare at the flag. You could have a 20-yard run and then a fumble, the defense, recovers it and then starts running it back. And you've got to rule on whether it was a fumble or not a fumble. And if you do rule that it was a fumble and the defense recovers it, nobody cares about your holding flag anymore. They're going to decline that and we're going to move on. So don't think that just because you have some foul for holding or something that would bring the play back that the play's over. There's still a lot that could happen. So let's make sure we finish officiating the play. Don't panic. It's all right. Okay, so you finished officiating the play. You did great, but now the play's ended. What are we doing here? Hold the end of the run until a crewmate takes the spot. This is mostly for you flanks. If you're the R, an umpire, or the B, you're not going to have the end of the run, but you still got to make sure that your crew, somebody's got to know where the end of the run is. So the next thing you're going to do, if you're the umpire, let's make sure we get the ball on the ground. So if the ball comes to the flank after it's dead and the flank is, at the numbers or closer in, feel free to put it down at your feet. And then the umpire can see where the end of the run is. He's either going to have a second ball to put down or he's going to ask you for the ball at your feet. You can throw it over to him. If the umpire is the one with the flag, he may go report to the referee before he comes and gets the ball from you that's at your feet, and that's fine. But we just want a ball on the ground. It makes it easy for the referee to see where the end of the run is, and then he knows what the penalty enforcement is supposed to be before he goes and does his announcement. So it's really important. You guys look really good if you get a ball on the ground before you go start running off to go try and report your foul to the referee. Because if you're a flank, you need to make sure that either that umpire's got your spot with the ball or your flank across the field has got your spot. Because you might think they have your spot and then they look around or they go and chase the ball. And if you're off reporting to the referee, now nobody knows where the end of the run is anymore and we're in big trouble. So let's get a ball down before we all start running around like crazy people. All right, now it's time. You got a ball down. It's time to report to the referee. Take a deep breath. White hats really like a nice, calm explanation of what you have. So this is what we're going to give to the referee. We're going to give him the foul we have, whether it was offense or defense, the number, if we've got it, and the result of the play. So it should sound something like this. I've got holding, offense, number 22. The result of the play is an incomplete pass. Now the referee has all he needs to make his announcement and should know what the enforcement's going to be. If you go up to the referee and you've got that huge deer in the headlights look, and you're telling, I think it was defense and it was holding, I didn't get a number and I don't know what happened to the play, you're going to get this look from your white hat. And he's going to do his best to help you, but that's all he can do. All right, so now you've reported to the referee, you did a great job. The referee knows what's going on. It's time to enforce the penalty. Let's hustle back to our spot and assist with the penalty enforcement. Everybody on the crew has a part to play with the penalty enforcement. So let's review that real quick. If you're the umpire, you've got the ball, you're enforcing the penalty. The umpire is going to be marching with the head linesman, who is also making sure that the penalty enforcement is correct. The line judge is holding the spot of the enforcement until the umpire and head linesman are done. And then the line judge is marching it off after that to make sure that the penalty enforcement is correct. Meanwhile, the back judge is taking the wide angle view, making sure that no fights are breaking out, no one's doing anything dumb. The back judge is also keeping track of the clock, making sure that he knows the status and making sure we're not losing any time while this enforcement's happening. And also just making sure, if you can, that you've got an idea of where the previous spot was, where the foul's being enforced from, and where everyone's going. It's a good double check. And then the referee is going to be announcing the penalty. He's going to turn around. He's going to do a quick check to make sure that the penalty was enforced correctly, and then he's readying the ball for play. So umpires. I understand that a lot of times our umpires are rookies. Sometimes we're doing a lot of training at the umpire position. That's where we start a lot of our new officials. So I understand that this is a lofty goal, but our target for all of you umpires is for when the referee is done making his announcement, he should be able to turn around and the ball is already down on the ground, penalty enforced, everybody's in position. That's our goal. I understand that you may have a question that you need to ask the referee about the penalty enforcement, and then this is no longer possible. That's totally fine. I would much rather you get it done right the first time and we don't have a mistake than to be fast. But if it's an easy penalty to enforce, you know where you're going from, you know where what yard line you're headed to. Let's try and do it quickly and have that ball ready for when the referee is done with his announcement. All right, you did a great job on the basic foul, but now we've got a foul and there's multiple flags on the play. First thing we're going to do, all calling officials must get together and determine if you have the same foul or not. If you do have the same foul, move the flags together and one official is going to go report to the referee. If you have different fouls, do not move the flags together. Both officials should report to the referee. And one thing I didn't put on here, but if you have a spot foul, please make sure that your flag is in a good spot. That goes for the whether you have the same foul or you have different fouls. Let's make sure that we get our flags on a spot that we like, if we have a spot foul. Man, you just booted a call. You threw the flag, and the second the flag left your hand, you wish it was on a fishing line and you could just reel it back in. We've all been there. So we throw this flag, we immediately regret it. What do? It's hard. We pick it up. It's not easy to pick up a flag, but we all know when we throw one we don't really like, it's sometimes a tough conversation with the coach, but trust me, you sleep better at night if you pick it up. If you do wind up in this situation, and all of us have, it depends on what position you're in on who you're going to talk to. So number one, please make sure you talk to the referee and let them know we're going to be waving off the flag. Now, if you are a flank and the opposite side flank is on the sideline that's going to be unhappy, we need to make sure we get an explanation over there so that coach knows what's going on. It's going to help this process go a lot smoother. So if the back judge is near you, explain to the back judge what happened, and the back judge can go over there and talk to the coach that's going to be unhappy. Or if there's been a long delay and the other flank is able to make it over to you, go ahead and explain it to him, and then he can talk to the coach. Now, if it's your sideline that's unhappy and you're on the flank, the coach will come find you. Trust me. And sometimes the answer, I screwed up, is the best, and that's okay. If you throw a flag for holding and it was just a bad one, it was a pancake, it was completely legal, and you threw on it just by mistake, you're going to have to look at the coach, and when he says, why did you throw that flag in the first place? You just say, Coach, I screwed up, but you know what? I'm going to make it right. And that's why we picked up the flag. And I've never had a coach react badly to that answer. They appreciate the honesty. They understand that we make mistakes, and they like to see us acknowledge that every once in a while. So please, if you know the flag was bad, pick it up. It's a tough conversation to have, but it is totally worth it. Other considerations here. Back judges. You should have the status of the game clock at all times. And after the referee turns around, he quickly checks the enforcement to make sure it is good. He's about to ready the ball in for play. The referee should look at you, and you should have wind the clock or we're cold. I know you can't see that real well, but it looks like this. Those are our mechanics we use for a cold clock and a hot clock. So let that referee know what's going on. Second thing, let's hustle without being in a rush. We kind of talked about this already with the umpires. We want to get this done quickly. We want to make sure that everything looks smooth out there on the field. We're not taking a full minute to enforce penalties, but at the same time, it looks really bad if we make a mistake. So let's not rush. Let's enforce penalties as quickly as we can while still getting it 100% right. And if coach wants an explanation, he's going to ask for it. I see officials that tend to go track down the head coach to try and give an explanation for every single little foul. It's the head coach doesn't want to hear from you for most of the fouls. If the head coach wants to come and get an explanation, he'll come find you and he will ask for it. And if you don't have the explanation, please do not try and fool him. Go to the white hat or go to the calling official if they're closer and get the explanation. Come back and make sure this is all at the dead ball opportunity. If you can't explain to the coach, it's perfectly reasonable to say, Coach, I don't have an explanation for you, but I'm going to get one at the next opportunity. And if you tell the coach that, be sure at the next opportunity, you go find an explanation and then go bring it back to them. It really helps your credibility and it'll help the crew's credibility. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Good luck this season.